memory of the class would probably have to be the Flemprov that we did with this class. There's so many participants. It just was outstanding. Like you couldn't tell it was their first time performing on stage at the Ox Lodge, and wild and crazy ideas that people came up with, the enthusiasm. It was such a great night, such a great first time doing Flemprov for this group.
I remember spending time with you guys mostly in the second year of the program for sure. So I would say the times that we really got to dig into skills, and we got to spend a few nights out together. So I'd say the rock climbing trip, the 2-day workshop that we had in the fall, and the winter camp were times that were good memories for me of really getting to know people. And then I think, of course potlucks were great, but instructional skills was, I'd say, a big highlight for me in terms of being able to do something that was a little different than we normally do, and ask really, I guess, poignant questions or stirring questions, and be able to listen to each other and share our thoughts, and that was a highlight for me.
Awesome. Well, I have quite a few favorite memories. Thinking back to the Wolf Den this past fall, the 2-story shelter that we had going on there in the pit inside of the ground. I just thought that was super creative and super fun. And then on top of that, I really love just seeing the light bulbs going off in people's heads as they connect with the land and grow their awareness. And I saw a lot of that, particularly when we were out tracking this year, seeing people actually start to understand the patterns, and I can just kind of see those little pops and people starting to get it. And that gets me super excited. Our day out at Ken Reed was so beautiful as well too. That was awesome, definitely a highlight when we had Darcy out that day.
Well, for me, because I saw this class so much in first year, I remember having a great canoe trip with Tess and Sarah, Jesse. Sorry if I missed anyone else there, Jason. We had a great trip, and then from then it was like automatically I knew it was kind of a fun group of students. So that's one fun memory. But I also just, what sort of strikes me with this group of students is just how spontaneous they are around fun stuff. Taking sort of an ordinary activity and then morphing it into this crazy, zany event, whatever it might be. And that's sort of the thing that I'll remember most about this class.
Would be the fact that you are so inclusive. You were welcoming, and you were bright, you were challenging with your questions, and the answers were honest. No games. So people who don't play games are easier to work with and easier to like. So I'm grateful for that.
Was the night at Voyageur Quest, and with each group, because you're divided into 3 groups up there, when we walked in silence along the trail and to the dam, and then it was actually when we turned into the bush and we sat by the water. So you could, it was pretty, I remember a couple of nights were really dark, it was difficult to see, and everybody had their lights out, and anyway, that was a very lovely experience. And I think for students too, it was maybe just cool.
What I'm gonna miss about, and what I already miss about this particular group, is how close they were. Everyone came to class fully supportive of each other. You could tell they were such a tight-knit family right from the start. It didn't matter who you put up on stage together. They had such full support for each other and really wanted to make sure everybody felt good about what they were doing. If some people were a little more shy than others, people were there to support and made everybody feel really comfortable.
Well, lots. I mean, it's it's interesting. The teacher-student relationship, we certainly blurred that line in terms of building friendships, and and of course there are lots of you who I would have liked to have spent more time with, and some of you I spent a good deal of time with outside of school, that sort of thing. So it's like making good friends with people for 2 years, and then of course you have to move on, which is good. We like to see you move on, but it gets tricky to stay in touch, and we'll try to do that. But I'll miss catching you in the halls and checking in with you and seeing what's going on.
This was actually one of my favorite years here at Fleming teaching, and I think it's the personalities of the class. People brought a lot of passion, people brought really good questions. We had a lot of good laughs kind of in the morning, starting out the day, and just some kind of funny, quirky personalities that, just really enjoyed. A really great group of folks you all were. It's been a pleasure hanging out with you this past semester. And when the students come with passion and excitement, it gets me excited. It makes me really love what I do as well. So I just had a lot of fun hanging out with you all.
Well, that energy, it's not always there with every class. It just seems to be with this one a fun sort of edge to everything. And I'm not saying it was always that way, but certainly with me, it seemed like there was always a laugh to be had, always someone with a good sense of humor to work with me and to have fun. And I'll really miss that kind of comfort level that I had with this group too. It's always been a group of students that I felt really willing to be myself, I guess, and when I'm willing to be myself and I'm kind of let my hair down, so to speak, it makes it a lot easier to teach and to interact. And so hopefully future students will be like that, but I'll miss that part of this class.
Well, there's such an eclectic mix in here. The personalities are varied, and yet there's a common denominator amongst everyone, and that is to do your best and to appreciate life. I'll miss that. The zest that you have is a good example just that you're setting for the other 20-somethings. And it's the inquisitiveness you have. You ask questions and you're personable. There's a lot that I'll miss about this class.
Is to keep being yourselves. That was the one thing that really became evident, especially as the class went on, how comfortable people were in their own skins, and that kind of attitude can carry you a long way, and it's infectious. It makes you desirable as employees. It makes you compelling to clients. It makes people want to work with you, and that's just keep on being yourselves.
It's something I've been thinking about lately, and it's just making sure that we all find a balance between doing work or adventuring or whatever is something in your life that pushes you and brings you some strain and a bit of struggle and helps you grow. So leaning into some of those tough spots and applying for jobs that are a little beyond your reach maybe, and hoping to get them, and struggling through it, but learning lots about yourself and the world, but also finding balancing that with rejuvenation time, and you got to fill the cup back up, of course, fill your soul back up. So making sure that if you're guiding people on canoe trips, making sure that you get to go out on your own personal trips, and or whatever it might be that taking an art class or whatever it might be that gives you something back, because this work, I feel about Dorette, you're giving lots of yourself, so you have to spend time balancing that.
Probably the biggest thing that I hope people, I'm going to say there's two things I hope people come away from this class with, and the advice I'd like to give you. One is just letting your relationship with the land empower everything you do as you move forward in the world, to expand our awareness and pay attention to everything and all the little details, and have just that much more information to work with as you go through life. And number two is around this quote that I've been pondering a lot lately, and it's that hope is not a strategy. Again, this quote is, hope is not a strategy. So there's absolutely no guarantees in life. There's no guarantee of a good job. There's no guarantee that you're even going to live a long life. So to decide what goals you have in this life, to create an actual strategy to get there, meaning mapping out all the little details to get you to that big picture goal, is absolutely huge. And then to give absolutely everything you do your all in life and go above and beyond in everything. And I believe that's a strategy both for success in the world as well as for a happy life as well.
You have to find your passion, and wherever your passion lies, that's the avenue you follow. And if it's in the outdoor industry, great. If it's not, then shift gears and go where you have to go to be happy. Because if you have no passion for what you're doing, happiness is hard to achieve, and that's really what life is about. So just find that passion and follow it.
Everybody's carrying a heavy load, and so be kind to everyone. If we realized what everyone's dealing with, we would probably be less judgmental and be more generous to others in our time, in our caring. But we're too concerned, too many people in the world are concerned with themselves, too many people are selfish. Don't be selfish.
We did an activity when you guys were in first semester, actually, around character traits, and this sketch or picture I drew for your class that fall, and I want you to remember all of these. These are character traits you guys should be, and I trust that you will be exemplifying these in your life. These are lifelong, skills to work on.